This is a prophecy. Charlie Shamp, speaking on the Elijah Stream, gives a prophetic word about the United States Supreme Court, that 2 Supreme Court justices will be replaced, one by a Samuel and one by a Deborah. Listen, God has heard our prayers. He is turning America back to himself. Check it out. Be sure to subscribe and press alert to get new notifications of new success secrets made available on VFN TV.
I'll tell you what I really am excited about.
What's that?
That no matter what we're seeing today in the news and all this stuff, this propaganda, if you will, it's so encouraging to know that we have a God that knows everything and is in control of everything, and he wants to share it, and he does share it with his people. When we abide and hear his voice and spend time with the Lord, he's telling us what is going on so that we can pray, be in partnership with him, so we don't have to go by the naysayers or the negative things that are happening. God has the inside story, and he desires to share it with us.
You have the people who don't know God's news.
Yeah.
And then you have the people who do know God, and God's speaking to them, and they're sharing what God's saying. And God's news is always good. Even if it seems bad at the time, it's only to get us to a good place.
Absolutely.
And I think about this, that right before the crisis, right before, terrible things happen, and you're looking at on Mount Carmel with Israel, and you're looking at Jezebel and all of her prophets on one side.
It was looking pretty bad if you just stop right there. It was looking dark.
So you had all these people who said they were hearing from God and righteous. When you go to the top of a mountain back then, that was broadcasting.
It meant something.
It wasn't television back then, but that's how you talked to the nation. You talked over at the mountaintops. And so at the same time, on the same mountain, you had God's prophet, Elijah. So you had false prophets, which were fierce. This is how you know the difference between a true prophet and a false prophet. A true prophet of God is true, but also they're bold. And a false prophet and a prophet of Jezebel, they're fierce, and you just kind of like fingernails across the chalkboard, and you just kind of cringe, and it's like, are you really marching down the street with that on your head right now? I mean, you're thinking, what are you doing,
Yeah.
And so you can tell the difference between false and true. But think about it. They were broadcasting all this stuff. I mean, right before they were actually going to be all taken down. I mean, the word of the Lord said through a particular prophet was the anchors are coming down.
Yes.
And we've been seeing them come down. I mean, even you're watching news industries go down. I really even believe Fox News is making an adjustment as we speak to be like we are VFN TV around the world. They're already starting to promote, you can see us and subscribe to us.
Yeah.
And they're starting to, and we don't do that, we're out there for free, but everybody's shifting to that. But some of the words have been prophesied that even, we'll talk more about that, but even, CNN will be closing their doors, and it's just the way people receive news is so. But you're looking at the last stand, last Custard stand, where they're shouting things that you're thinking like, what are you saying? I mean, but
it's a desperate thing to throw everything on the wall.
Think about what Jezebel's prophets were doing. I mean, they were saying Jezebel's right, Jezebel's right, Jezebel's right. Couldn't say nothing else, that they'd be dead, right?
Right.
And so they're saying lie, 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 lie. This is what happened biblically. You can go back and look at it. And so with that, when they finish doing what they were doing, long story short, then the true prophet just says, are you sure? I mean, is your God not listening? What's going on? And a lot of people get all concerned when they hear Jezebel's prophets say all these lies. Relax.
Especially when there's a lot of them.
Yeah.
And people still think a large
Well, the
numbers
majority of Israel was believing and following Jezebel and Ahab during that time, and God was shifting. It was going to be a little bit of shifting. I mean, Jehu was yet to come. By the way, it's Donald Jehu Trump, if you don't think about it. And so understand that was the beginning of a transition. So have faith in God and how powerful he is, that he holds all things together. He's in total control. He's in total charge, and he's activating what he's going to do here on earth. And you're about to be a shift, because it's the God who answers by fire.
Yeah.
Who is God.
And that's why I think this program is so important, because we bring a biblical perspective to today's news and current events. Right. If you're just watching the news today and listening to the insanity, you can be depressed, you lost your hope, and you will think that hope is in a man. Right. But hope is not in a man, not even in the President of the United States. The hope is in Jesus Christ and him alone.
Although we do appreciate him. So,
yeah, we do.
So then you're looking right now at these Supreme Court nominations, and you see every single time that somebody comes up that's a constitutional conservative who actually likes America, who believes in the Constitution and has faith in God, that they attack them, and everything that they truly are, they accuse them of the opposite. We got to get used to that, because not only does Jezebel seduce you into something, and then she attacks you for the seduction afterwards, you got to realize that's all her plans. Revelations chapter 2, the church at Thyatira. He talks about it, that she leads God's people away, and seduces them and leads them into all this stuff that they're accusing, appointees of being able to do that. They didn't. And so you got to understand to pray during those days and realize, but specifically Charlie Shamp, he's a prophetic man that's speaking on the Elijah television. He's speaking about prophetic words that God had given him about the Supreme Court. And one of them specifically has to do with Brett Kavanaugh, Judge Brett Kavanaugh, that he actually is one of the Samuels that God's putting on the Supreme Court. And a Deborah is coming. As a matter of fact, let's join this now. This is Charlie Shamp sharing this prophetic word on the Elijah's list.
Yeah, so in October of last year, I was in California. And I was praying, and the Lord showed me that there was a Supreme Court justice from California that would be stepping down, and that the Lord would in turn raise up what he termed a Samuel and put into the Supreme Court. Okay. And we're seeing that right now taking place.
So you're saying, to be clear, that the one that the Lord calls Samuel is?
Kavanaugh.
Because we've had other believers saying, well, we're not sure it's Kavanaugh because what if it's supposed to be a woman, and the woman that was mentioned, and we'll talk a little bit more about that in a minute. But you're saying that the Lord is telling you that Kavanaugh is the next guy.
Yeah.
Okay.
I believe that. And from what the Lord has shown me, that the next one is a man that God called Samuel.
Okay.
And then on the 29th, as I was praying about that very word, the Lord showed me that not only is he going to put a Samuel there, but he's also raising up a Deborah. Okay. So I believe that there's a man that's going to be placed in right now, and then there's going to be another Supreme Court justice that's coming, and that will be a woman that God calls Deborah.
Okay, now I'm just going to ask you straight out. When you say it's going to be a woman, is that someone you can name, or are you just going to, do we stop there?
I think we stop. I don't, I haven't seen into.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I think we could speculate about it, but in reality, though, I can't release what the Lord has not specifically spoken to me about.
That's very good. And man, I like hearing you say that. I want our viewers to hear you say that, because that's true integrity.
We're so excited about our new book, I Will Fight, Strategies for Your Success. You got to have a strategy and you got to fight. It's not about a physical fight, but you got to fight. And guess what? If you fight, you win. You'll be successful. This book is about transforming your thoughts, about what your beliefs, the decisions that you're making, about speaking. What you say is so powerful, and what you do, what you're saying, your actions you take. And quitting, don't quit. Listen, success and failure quite often is just 5 more minutes. And finally, think about this. So many people talk about you should do this, and you should do this, and you should do this. And look what they're doing. They're not doing nothing. You can't let people tell you should do this. As a matter of fact, they can't be putting their should on you. This is so important. Listen, we want to bless you with your free copy of I Will Fight, Strategies for Your Success. You can get it at vfnkb.com. That's vfnkb.com. Get your free copy today. Then this is so powerful when you think about that. Imagine, for so long we thought, man, this is what they're calling the Supreme Court. They're calling it the most powerful position in America. That is constitutionally totally wrong. It has been used as a leverage of power, but the truth is the Congress is the most powerful branch, and everything needs to go back to the Congress. But God's shifting that, and you'll notice people that have been wrongly using the courts to basically make law for the bench. They're going to go back to Congress and start trying to get that thing to go down. But God's changing it. He's putting a Supreme Court in that's going to literally line up with the direction God's taking this country. This is so exciting. You think about this. You think about how important it is for the judges to be able to be changed. I know there was a prophet out of South Korea. I can't bring his name up right now, but he prophesied. He said, listen, America, and this is before the election in 2016. He says, it doesn't matter who you put in office in Washington, D.C. If you don't change the judges across the land, America's going to go down. And I know that, since President Trump's been in, they've been changing more than ever before, especially those appeals courts, which is
and you notice the ones that haven't been changed are the ones that being an obstructionist, if you will, and trying to stop some of the things that he was trying to do with the travel ban and other things.
And you got one judge in the middle of nowhere making a law and the whole court.
It affects the entire country.
And that's not the way it was originally. That's not the whole purpose of it. It shouldn't be that way. It's the Congress that makes those laws, the executive branch, the president that enforces those laws, and the judiciary branch interprets the laws of the fact, are they constitutional? That's it. And it's either yes or no. Be sure to subscribe and press alert to get new notifications of new success secrets made available on VFN TV. A lot of people want to abide with the Lord, but they just don't have a plan to do it. You can request that plan today at iabide.org. I'm your host, Greg Lancaster, and we're so glad that you've joined us. Don't forget you can join us 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Download our app and sign up for our newsletter, The Torch, at vfnkb.com. I've enjoyed our time together. God bless.